Let me tell you something that might shake you a little. The day I stopped doing everything for him, the day I stopped over explaining, the day I stopped fixing his problems, the day I stopped anticipating his needs before mine, that was the day I got my peace back in full. And here is the crazy part. I didn't create this rule. I didn't make the rules. I, I did not invent male psychology. I didn't design it. I didn't design how attraction works. I didn't make any of this, but it works every time because when I stopped overgiving, everything shifted. And in this video, I'm going to explain why. Not from bitterness, not from ego, not from the city girl or the tush girl um, strategy. No, but this is just purely psychology. This is 100% psychology from nervous system science, from attraction theory, and attachment theory as well. And this is also from masculine feminine polarity dynamics. Like goes repel, remember. And if you're the kind of woman that is tired, the kind of woman that is exhausted, you're tired of doing everything, you're tired of being the emotional manager, you're tired of being the strong one or the Miss, I can do all things, then stay with me. If not, feel free to swipe. But this video that you're about to watch today, or this what you're about to listen to today, what you're about to hear today, might be what will free you. Now, let me talk about the first one, the overfunctioning woman. Let's start here. A lot of women in relationships are what psychologists call overfunctioners because we were taught that way. Let me explain what an overfunctioner does. An overfunctioner is someone who solves every problems before they are being asked, right? Before they ask you for anything, your brain is already solving the problems, your hands and everything in you is already solving the problem. You carry emotional labor, like your life depends on it. You fix everything. You fix logistics. You remind him of his responsibilities. Some of you even go as far as knowing his doctor's visit and all that information about his life that he just mentioned to you casually. But because you're in love with him, you fix everything sticks to your brain. So you remind him of everything. You absorb his tension and your tension. You prevent conflicts. You don't want to talk about it because you don't want to get him upset. And then you make his life easier at your own expense. So this is what an overfunctioner is, right? And at first, trust me, it feels good. This woman is peaceful. You think when men say, I want a woman that I want a woman who gives me peace. This is what they mean. But no, that's not what they mean. Now, when you start doing all of these things, at first it feels good, it feels cool, but in the long run, you feel you're exhausted. Now, from the man's perspective, at first you feel, oh my goodness, this guy needs me. So you feel needed, you feel valuable, you feel chosen because it's kind of you're like his mother, and everybody chooses their mother. But you forgot that men don't want to date their mothers, right? They want a partner. Now, slowly, when you start doing all these things, you become the manager, you start managing him, and it becomes a dependent, which is not supposed to be so. Now, here's the psychology behind this thing. When your partner overfunctions, when they do everything for you, the other one somehow unconsciously underfunctions. And this is supposed to be so when the right person is doing the right thing. Okay. So if the male, because the male is supposed to be the powerful one, the strong one, supposed to protect you and love you. But when you switch roles and you start protecting him and loving him, it cannot submit to you. You see that? Now, when you switch roles, you're supposed to submit, it's supposed to love. When you switch role, you start loving, but his ego will not let him submit to you. Now something is missing. Anyways, so what was I saying? Okay, I was saying that you become the manager, you become his manager, and then he becomes a dependent, and then you start over functioning, he will start under functioning, and then there is there is um there is a, how do I put it? There is a missing piece that needs to be, there is a puzzle, yeah, missing puzzle that you need to fix. But because you have switched role, you're unable to fix it. And here is the sad part of it. Like I said like I said earlier, it's easy and sweet in the beginning, but a time will come that you no longer, because you're not wired to do all these things, you no longer have the strength to do it. Now, when you feel needed, when you feel valuable, when you feel chosen, the dopamine and everything is there, you feel happy, you feel safe and secured. You are supposed to be the one to feel safe and secured. Now, when the other partner, when you start over functioning, and I mean, psychologically, the other one would automatically underfunction. It's a nervous system balance. It's just the relational math. It's just the way it is. The more you carry, the less he has to carry. You see that? Now, the less you carry, the more he has to carry. And then the attraction increases on your side because you're doing more. However, it doesn't grow in that imbalance because there's an imbalance now. You're doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's doing what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. Now, what happens when you do this? It takes me to the second point. The man will pull away when you do too much. Now, it's not because he's wicked, it's not because he's mean, but because you're taking over his role for him. You're taking over his role from him. Now, he has nothing to do. Men are not wired to have nothing to do. God gave them work to do before he gave them a woman. You see that? God gave him work before women. It was when he was working and God said, you know what? This guy needs an helpmeet. That's when God made him sleep and made you. Now, when you come into his life and you take away that work, he's not fulfilled. And that's why you see that when you start doing too much, everything everything might feel okay at first, but a time will come, everything will just start crashing. Now, this is why men pull away from you when you do too much. And I know it gets confusing because they've taught us you have to do a lot for him and all that and all that. But let me tell you something. You say, oh, I did everything right, but I was supportive, but I was loyal. I made his life easier. Exactly. That was what you did. You made his life easier. But you also removed the space where he proves himself, the masculine energy, and I'm talking about where you make him energetic, not the biological masculine energy. So the challenge, the earning, the solving, the pursuing, the building, the protecting, you took everything away from him. Now, all of this will now be missing because you're fixing his problems. You see that? That masculine energy that is supposed to be energetic, it thrives on when a man is challenged, when a man is earning, when he's solving problems, when he's pursuing you, when he's protecting you, when he's building you. But when you fix his problem, when you over communicate your availability to him, you're always there. He knows everything you're doing at every point in time. You don't give him this emotional, you don't give him space or time to think about you. You don't allow him to miss you. You don't let him think there is no desire because you're always there. You remove all mystery from him. You tolerate bare minimum, and then you overinvest emotionally. You eliminate all of that. You eliminate the need for effort. You don't give him work to do. And here is the hard truth: people do not value what they do not invest in. That's the truth. I didn't make the rules. Like I said in the beginning, it's not cruelty, it's just psychology. You see, when a man puts effort in the relationship, It creates attachment. Investment, when you invest in the relationship, it builds value. Now, when a man struggles, when he fights, when he does all of this hard work to get you, it builds pride. And you know, men and ego, they're like five and six. But when you do everything, it has nothing to attach its efforts to. You see that? And then that takes me to the third thing, which is a nervous system truth. See, let's go deeper now. When you're constantly doing everything for a man, you're you're operating from anxiety. And there is this thing about anxious attachment. It says if I do more, it will stay. If I'm useful, I won't be abandoned. If I anticipate everything, I won't lose him. But that's not true. That is not even love. That is survival. And your body feels it. Your blood pressure rises, you overthink, you replay conversations in your head, you fear pulling back. But you see, when you do nothing, not and I don't mean nothing in a bad way, but I don't mean you're cold. I don't mean you're cruel. I mean you're just regulated. If it calls you, you pick up. If it doesn't call you, you're not the one to start saying, you didn't call me yesterday. You didn't call me 2 days ago. You didn't call me 3 days ago. It has your number. If you're valuable, if he really, really wants to talk to you, he'll call you. You see that? You're regulated. You let him plan. You let him initiate. You let him fix things for you. Ask for help. Stop being the I can do all things woman. No, you cannot do all things. Stop being the El Shaddai. No, you are not El Shaddai. Jesus Christ has done everything. You don't need to do anymore. Allow him do everything for you. You see that? Your nervous system would calm down. You let him lead. You let him show up. You don't have to be the one to do everything in the kitchen. If you need help, ask him for help. I promise you. When you sit down and when you sit and he does things for you, who says he cannot make food for you? Who says he cannot make a cup of tea for you? Peace will come when you stop auditioning. I'm, I promise you. See, your nervous system does not know if the stress is coming from the man or from work or from any. Once you become so anxious, anxiety and everything, it's dangerous. You start resenting the man. When you do too much, you silently resent him because you're no longer performing, you're no longer receiving love. You're now performing for love. You see that you're no longer observing. When you start doing too much, your sense of judgment is clouded. You can't see if this guy loves you or not. But when you stop overperforming, when you stop, over giving, over explaining, the guy does something that